Let's talk about the things I wish I knew before the first time I packed up for a short-term gig. My name is Kent, and this is your half-hour call.
Attention cast and crew, this is your half-hour call. Half hour to the top of the show. Half hour.
What is up, my friends? As the date to return to Busch Gardens Williamsburg gets closer and closer, I'm starting to think about what I need to do in order to pack up and head up to Virginia. But there's a lot of stuff I wish I knew the first time I was packing up to go to a short-term gig, so stick around to the end of the video so that you get to hear all 5 things that I wish I knew before moving to my first contract. But if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Kent, and you are watching Half Hour Call, where we're dedicated to shining the spotlight on technical theater. So if you want how-to videos, interviews with industry leaders, and insider theater updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video. The first thing that I'm pretty sure people had already told me, but I didn't listen, is to take less stuff. There have been few things in my life that were as frustrating as packing everything up carefully into my tiny Toyota Yaris, driving it across the country, unpacking everything, and then 6 months later realizing that I didn't even use half of the stuff that I brought. If you're on the fence about bringing something, just don't bring it. If you're not 100% sure you're going to use it, don't bring it. If you desperately need it, you can always buy one when you're there. The 2 biggest culprits for me were kitchen supplies and office supplies. I brought way more stuff than I actually needed for my office. I did not need laminator sheets because I didn't even own a laminator. I didn't need file folders. I didn't need sheet protectors. Just bring less stuff. And same thing with kitchen supplies. I found that I could get away with only 1 pan and 1 pot with a lid. And then, one of every type of utensil. But I didn't need 12 knives. I didn't need an entire plate set, all of that stuff. Now, all 5 of these might only apply to me because I'm not a very sentimental person when it comes to stuff. And it was interesting, every time I would move from place to place, I would bring less and less and less and less stuff until the point where I think I've finally gotten it dialed in on exactly what I need to bring to be happy with the way I like to live my life. Number 2 is, for the love of God, take pictures of how you've packed everything. And I don't just mean how you pack up the car so it'll fit back in it. I mean every individual box. Go ahead and take a picture of how you fit stuff in there because it will not fit the same way a second time. Treat it like you're making a preset checklist and just take as many pictures and document everything that you can because you're gonna have to pack it all back up in a couple months anyway. Number 3 is something that I've just started doing this time, but it is incredibly helpful. Take your empty boxes and your bulkier items that aren't going to go into the box and go ahead and pack your car with it, with everything empty. That way you know exactly how many boxes you can fit in along with your other items and how they should be packed up, and you don't have to spend a lot of time moving really heavy boxes to really Tetris it in perfectly. Plus, knowing that I can only fit 4 boxes in my car is really helping me pare down on my stuff even more. Speaking of cutting down on stuff, for the next 2 weeks, I will be holding a lighten the load sale at the Half Hour Call store so that I don't have to take as much stuff with me up to Virginia. Now, Busch Gardens Williamsburg has housing available, but I didn't want to live in that housing last time and I don't want to live in it this time, so I had to find my own apartment. So this next tip is specifically for if you are looking for a short-term lease and it happens to be unfurnished. There were furniture rental packages that started at $200 a month, but I figured out a way to live for even cheaper. Now, this comes with the caveat that I do not care what my apartment looks like in terms of aesthetic. I care if it functions correctly. So I was perfectly happy getting a $150 mattress and then using this folding table that I took with me and using folding chairs and stuff in my apartment. I thought that was perfectly fine. But one thing that I wish I knew in advance is that it's kind of difficult to dispose of mattresses. And what I'm planning on doing this time is still using my folding tables and ordering a mattress. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan in advance to donate that mattress to a homeless shelter or an orphanage or something similar that collects mattresses, so that way it doesn't go to waste. And if you really care about having furniture in your apartment, you could do similar things with furniture from Goodwill. You could probably get a pretty good set of furniture for around $300 in total, which is less than the cost that it would have taken for me to rent furniture for 2 months, and then you could have turned around and donated it at the end of your contract. Hey friends, Kent from the future here. My start date for Busch Gardens actually got bumped up by about 2 weeks, so I will be heading up there a lot sooner than anticipated, which is why the Light and the Load sale is less than 2 weeks, like I said in the video. Also, the unfurnished apartment that I stayed at last time I had this contract is completely booked up, so I am now going to be in a fully furnished Airbnb, a long-term Airbnb, which is about the same price. So, I will not be able to purchase a mattress and donate it like I planned, but I won't be purchasing a mattress at all. And the fifth and final thing I wish I knew before moving to my first contract was that I should have hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. But in all seriousness, my fifth tip is for people that are signing their own leases and are not working shows that have provided housing. While you're living there, ask your apartment complex to report your rent payments to the credit bureaus. Assuming that you pay your rent on time, which if you're moving somewhere specifically for a job, you probably will, this can be a really good way to build some credit. Not every apartment complex does it, but it can't hurt to ask. And as I learned, they don't do it retroactively. I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully those tips will keep you from making the same mistakes I did when I was moving to my first contract. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. My name is Kent, and this has been your half-hour call.
Find the perfect gift for the stage manager in your life at the Half Hour Call store, now with free shipping on all domestic orders. New products added frequently. Visit KentJamesCollins.com/store to shop now.